Hello, I'm the Cartooner. This is my YouTube channel. Despite this being my 7th video since making my glorious return, I still have barely done anything, and I'm still feeling super anxious about coming here every week. Now, I feel actually really comfortable with the process of making a video. I feel very comfortable. In fact, at times more comfortable on camera than off. But what I find myself worrying about is, am I going to be able to do it in a way that's actually, I think in some ways I've moved past unique, but I want it to at the very least be interesting, right? Where I'm at now in my creative headspace has a pretty direct line. You can take a teleological approach to looking at the history of my channel and me as an artist. That's your word of the day. Teleological. I learned that in school. It's one of the last things I learned in school. Isn't that fun? So because as a kid, actually I have it literally right in front of me. Holy shit. As a kid, this was one of the very first comic books I remember ever getting. It's the Garfield, the 6th Garfield Fat Cat 3-pack. After reading that Garfield book, I remember trying to draw in that same style. You know, Jim Davis has those kind of specific ways he draws eyes where they're like ovals that are like right on each other. So I remember trying to replicate that. And then not too long after is when I was gifted a huge collection of Calvin Hobbes books from, I believe, my cousin, I think. I mean, obviously, as I think with a lot of people who've read Calvin and Hobbes, I think, yeah, blown away. And then after that, I discovered Naruto, and I got really into manga for a while, and I remember that being really influential. You know, and then where I really feel like it shifted is when I started really getting into video games for, honestly, the kind of the first time in my life. And then started this channel in 2013. Starting this channel was the kind of beginning of the end of this, because so up until that point, you know, I had been reading other things, taking in other things, and trying to kind of make it my own. And I would take it in without even really thinking about much beyond, you know, what was kind of directly in front of me. There was, I mean, you would imagine there's some kind of subconscious thing you're taking in when you're reading comics or whatever, or watching things, experiencing the world for the first time as a child. Those are things that you probably they're things that go away as you grow older and as you've seen the same things over and over again before. Depending on your overall worldview, that could change just how much luster the world might lose. But anyway, so I started in 2013, and literally, and by 2016, I was so burned out that I was like, I can't. And it's because I'd been taking in less inspiration and became far too worried about the outcome and the numbers. And like, as much as I don't want to, and as much as I've probably always said that I'm not, I'm just like, those are the things I'm totally focusing on, and they're the complete wrong thing to be focusing on, and it's what puts me in this paralysis. Another thing, when I was a dumb kid, I had some DS games. A friend of mine had a Game Boy, so I could obviously play their Game Boy games, but they couldn't play my DS games, so we swapped. And I brought their Game Boy home. He brought my DS home, and I got home, and I was like I just jammed the Game Boy cartridge into the Game Boy. I really just forced it in. But you don't have to jam it in. The Game Boy cartridge should just kind of click in. It should be nice and easy. So so I got it stuck, and I was with my grandma at the time, and I was just kind of like, Grandma, and obviously she got really mad at me because she's like, why did you force it? I'm like, I don't know. Eventually we did get the game out, and I think everything worked as far as I remember. But really the lesson that I learned from all that was, don't force things. And that's exactly what I've been doing for, years now. Could I say it since 2016? Probably, honestly. Maybe even before that. Maybe as long as I've been doing this channel, I've been trying to do something other people's way and trying to somehow read the minds of a bunch of different people that I don't know. It's just some ambiguous audience. I'm trying to figure out what they all want and how I can do it, but while also assuming that I don't have the ability to provide that, and yet I want to anyway. And so I'm treating my creativity like that Game Boy cartridge, and I'm just trying to jam it in, but it's the wrong way. The right way. It doesn't feel very good for YouTube, but honestly, I need to be sitting, and I need to read more comics, I need to watch more movies, I need to read more other just like novels, and then, well, quite frankly, and then from that point, steal. Because that's what all good art is. It's finding things that inspire you and stealing them and putting them in your own work. That's what everything is. Because that is what art is. Art is, it's like the artist working through their interpretation of the world and presenting it in some sort of way. There's also, I've heard the definition of art described as the process of making. The final product is a work of art, but the art is the actual process of creating. And it's all that stuff that I'm just, well, I think I'm scared to get into, and I think I try in other ways to prepare for it. I need to stop forcing things. Make a more considered effort to seek out inspiration. It's not going to find me. I need to find it. If I'm going to reflect the world at all, I need to take some of the world in, you know? So really, I need to make some kind of bigger lifestyle changes before I'm going to be ready to do anything anywhere. So for next week, then I'll have to figure out, I'm like, my first idea I'm having right now is I have tons of comics that I buy comics and I buy video games the exact same way, where I go, oh, that looks good, and then I buy it and I'll look at it a little bit and I go, okay, and then I'll put it on a shelf, or it stays in the Steam library, and then years later I discover it again and I'm like, ooh, that's exactly what I want right now. And then I pick it up, and then I'm addicted. You know what? That's literally happening to me right now with the game Satisfactory. I've been addicted for like 2 weeks. Oh, God, as long as I've been trying to make this video, really. Huh. And actually, in fact, I think sitting and playing some Satisfactory has actually allowed me to kind of calm down and finally get here, the day that this video's due. If you have anything specific you'd like to see me do related to art and or comics, please let me know in a comment down below. Also, make sure to check out the 2 podcasts that I do, both available on anywhere you get podcasts. I have the Woosoo's podcast, which is produced for Woosoo's Concert Cafe here in Duluth, and my other podcast, Not Really, But Kinda, which... Make sure to watch the next one, because I think I'm gonna need to talk about how horrible of a person I've been in the past. If you've ever watched any of those Go Bicker videos, and if you ever watched Go Bicker Plays a Leech Now, oh my God. Chris and we talk about that on Not Really But Kinda, and we were both laughing about it fondly. But then after I did the podcast, I went back and watched the video, and I was appalled. I couldn't believe that at that point in my life, I had become nicer and less angry than I had been before. And I was still so mean and so nasty and swearing so much. I really could not believe it. I was shocked. So I need to make big apologies, and I'll be talking about that on the next episode of Not Really But Kinda. So anyway, if you've liked this, please leave a like. For more about being a comic creator and an artist and all the struggles and whatnot that come with that, please subscribe. We have new videos, now that I've missed one, I should say, about every Friday. Until next time, thanks for watching.